Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to GameStar TV. And what do you know? We say that we're going to change the way we do tiebreakers, and just in the nick of time, because we absolutely need it. Because not only have Ground Zero and Onyx Esports tied for games won versus games lost, they've also tied in the head-to-head stakes against the other teams that have tied. So they each got 2 points from that. They are exactly tied on Buchholz, and they are tied on points different as well. So if we didn't have this in place, we'd be up creek and we'd not have a paddle. So Kitfox, it's pretty exciting. We're not used to 5 games on a Tuesday night, on a Wednesday night, but we're going to get it tonight.
Oh, yes, and you know what? That's why we love esports. It's all about the unknown, the unseen, and dealing with it when it comes our way. And this, ladies and gentlemen, means we're going over to Warhead Junction for Ground Zero versus Onyx Esports, who have been going from strength to strength to strength. They started right down at the bottom. Now they're here. They're doing all right. And this could see them get their berth into the playoff rounds against big boys like Nomiya and Darksided. But GL Phoenix, Warhead Junction, we've had an amazing round of games tonight, but this is what it comes down to.
Yeah, we're going to end it with a bang, essentially, and hopefully a nuclear-sized bang as we finish this one off. All right, so we are getting the OKs and the readies, and we are ready to get into this draft, for the final draft of the night. It's been a bit of a long one, but it's been a very exciting evening of games, and well, there's a lot on the line for this one last game.
Ground Zero versus Onyx. Man, I can't wait.
I just want to say, guys, like, Kit, you were talking about Onyx Esports before. Like, shout out to Grumshots and his players, because they have been huge supporters of the Heroes of the Storm scene with the Onyx Guild. If you are thinking of getting involved and don't have a team or anything like that, get onto Discord and hit up Grumshot, because he will lead you over to the Onyx Guild. They have a community of new players that have been training hard, and a massive shout out to them. Here is Onyx Esports, who were kind of wooden spooners for many weeks prior in prior seasons. They are fighting for a spot in their first playoff. So, you know, the dream is real.
Totally. There's lots of money in esports, and hell, when a shot to BlizzCon is on the line for the winners of this tournament, man, oh man, why wouldn't you be training hard? It's a trip to the States, it's cash, and the overall experience. I mean, it's just something, it's invaluable to get that kind of exposure. So let's see what they can do here. They're going to take Dahaka off the board to start things off. They did have the first ban in their favor. Good old coin flip coming up for them. But no, we are on Warhead Junction. It is a massive map. It is huge. So people like Falstad, people like Dahaka, Brightwing, anybody that's got a global is going to be extremely useful. So Dahaka and Oriel now being taken off the board, GLP.
Yeah, and as we're talking about globals, even though it's not necessarily a full global, things like Illidan with the Hunt can tend to come out on this map, and you can get a lot of value, but the Stitches is going to be the first pick, so wanting to play that pick style, and very interesting start to the draft, but that does leave over the Genji and potentially the Uther for the side of Ground Zero, and that would be a very strong combination to start off this draft for them.
Uther, Tassadar. I mean, Tassadar is a good bully when it comes to picking up those nukes, throwing down the Psy Storms, but they will go the safer option, and they'll lock in Uther. So we've seen Ground Zero favour this sort of composition a few times in their matches. They love the Genji, they love the Uther, and with Oriel being taken off the board, they don't really have to worry about coming up against the Oriel and Battery combo, the Oriel Tassadar, so to speak, on the side of Onyx Esports. But I think Stitches is interesting. Stitches is often considered a higher skill cap hero than, say, your Diablo, say your Arthas. You need to land those hooks. So I like this play. They're obviously rolling from the games that they've had this afternoon, and they are feeling so confident that they are going to put all their eggs in that basket. I love the way Onyx are taking this game.
Absolutely, and it's not only do you have to be able to land those hooks, you also it's also one of those heroes where you have to have your team know how to play with and around it as well, because as we see, the Malfurion is going to be picked up, and that is going to be one of the big tools to follow up on those hooks, to drop those entailing roots right at the feet of those targets to just lock them down immediately. We've seen it in the past and how powerful that can be, but as you were saying, the Lunara is going to come in. We saw it in the previous game, doing so much work, getting those massive damage numbers. And very much interested to see how this ends up developing, because we've got some very strong combos on both sides. Looking forward to a very spicy game.
So Tassadar being taken off for ground 0 now. So banning 2 supports, Oriel and the Tasman. Now up to Onyx, they get their second ban. They've already taken Dahaka off the board. Will they go for another global? I mean, would they potentially even pick Abathur? Do they have a skilled specialist player? Abathur is quite good on this map with his mines, able to prevent a lot of nuke captures. And especially if you get a clone on somebody like the Lunara, it's ghastly how much damage she can pump out.
Yeah, it was one thing I was mentioning earlier when we saw the previous Abathur ban, and I think it was our 3rd series when it was on Cursed Hollow. One thing that's scarier than, say, any kind of diving assassin is that assassin, again, with more damage and less fear, because the ultimate evolution, it gives you more damage. And it doesn't matter if you die. Yes, you give up a little bit of experience, but you're not afraid of dying when you're that ultimate evolution, so...
Bang!
Ooh.
Mean picks coming out here from ground 0. Abathur was taken off the board from Onyx, and now they've locked in the aspect of death, Malthael, so big chunks, and Zagara as well for ground 0. So lane pressure, team fight potential, dive comps. I like this from ground 0. They've got a little bit of everything, a slice of every pie.
Yeah, they do have a little bit of everything, but you get to a point where it's like, do we do anything well? You got all these things doing all these different things, all these different tools going all over the place. Yeah, you got this global thing with the Zagara, and more than likely going with that Nidus network to try and apply pressure all over the place. And you've also got this very dive-heavy composition with the Genji, the Malthael wants to go in, and the Uther can help out with that. We'll very much have to see how this last pick for them ends up working out, because they still need that warrior, they still need that sturdy front line, and it's a very interesting draft so far for ground 0. I'm very intrigued to see how they end up playing this out.
Will they go a specialist of their own? Now, Thrall and Li Ming are going to be locked in. Thrall we saw last night, I believe, come back into the fray a little bit, but we haven't seen a lot of him of late, but Li Ming now being locked in, so poke potential. And if the game we saw on Dragonshire is anything to go by, Li Ming is going to be ghastly. Now they're going for the solo tank Anubarak. When Malthael gets to level 10, you could argue that he's sort of like a pseudo tank, as well, with the Tormented Souls and the Sustain, but that copped a bit of a nerf. I mean, Memento Mori, we see a lot of teams not go for that talent nowadays. So this is interesting. I really like, if one thing that Onyx get complimented about a lot of the time is that they draft very, very well. And I like the way that they've drafted here. Grumpshot himself is going to be on Li Ming, but here we go, GLP!
Ooh, last game of the night. We have some very intriguing drafts on both sides. Very high damage on both sides. We've got 3 assassins on the side of Onyx. We got 2 assassins and a reasonably high damage specialist in the Zagara on the side of ground 0. Ooh, and it's going to be Warhead Junction, which can get really explosive, really spicy, really quickly.
I cannot wait. It's either over very fast or it takes forever, but let's see where this one goes. It's now 10:30 Aussie time, which means it's 12:30 over in Kiwiana, so I can hear Crisis yawning from here. It will be the ground 0 lads going up on blue, going up against Onyx on red. Scripps is on Uther, Bob Cow on Malthael, Papa on Zagara, Anubarak is Chase, and Genji is Superstition.
And on the right side, it is Onyx Esports trying to get their first shot at the playoffs. It is the Fish on Lunara, Grumpshot himself on the Li Ming, AC the Man on Stitches, Blood Spiller is on the Malfurion, and Happy Chap being so very happy on that Thrall.
Blood Spiller. I like it. Let's see what Thrall goes for. Will he go for the quest talent to start things off? Yes, he will. Echo of the Elements. So he's going to be opting for that extra bounce, that extra charge. on the chain lightning. Let's hope it pays off for him now. Actaman has spotted Chase nice and early. Will he land one of those godlike hooks? He does! He hits Bob Cow! The scouting drone was able to reveal it! Will this be the first kill? Oh, chain lightning almost picked it up there. In comes Superstition. This is a great start for Onyx Esports.
Yeah, nice little start there. Getting those firing, getting those first shots off right out of the gate. Just letting him know who's boss as we get this one underway, but it's not going to be too much in the end. But meanwhile on the top side, we have Papa on that Zagara pushing so much pressure. All those Zerg minions doing so much work, and already taking down the towers. This Thrall is taking so much damage.
That Hydralisk was doing work there from Papa, who is going to be none other than an absolute pest of this game. It's like a butcher. You can't let them sit in the lane for too long or just bad things happen. Not as bad as, a fully fed butcher coming at you, but Papa can push the whole way through. That's what Zagara's specialty is just constant lane annoyance. And Papa will have one job this game. Her teamfight potential sucks. So that's what he'll be doing.
Absolutely, and that's essentially what you pick these specialists for. You want them to just shove these lanes in, be as big of a nuisance as possible, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. The Thrall just doesn't necessarily have the tools to stick around the lane, but we do have Grumpshot coming up to try and help out.
Cheeky Grumpshot coming in from the mid lane rotation. Now 2 nukes are going to spawn to start things off. One right up near where Papa is, the other one down in the mid lane. So Actaman and Bloodspiller will be duking that out with Chase and Scripps. Scouting drone is on the right, the upper right hand side for the Onyx Esports. That's providing a little bit of vision. Top nuke has spawned in. Grumpshot is up there providing a little bit of relief while Happy Chap goes back to the base. But Papa can zone out Grumpshot here and just deal tons of damage. Once that Hydralisk is locked on, it's just able to annoy, and Papa just narrowly getting himself that nuke. But meanwhile, Actman in the mid lane, he's been taken down, found himself in a bad position. Malfurion went down as well to start that fight off. So unfortunately for Onyx, they're now down. They've lost 2 players, 2 important players, are taking a healer, and now they're just on the back foot as the first nuke gets fired.
Yeah, and also the second nuke going down as well. Already a very strong start coming out from ground zero. Just putting so much pressure, and a lot of it is coming in just from the amount of pushing potential coming out from this Zagara. It's forcing members to try and react to it, but they're just not able to have the tools to deal with it. His Bloodspiller's taking so much damage, the Fury is not able to stick around, and the diving potential of these Genjis is a little bit too much. This is going to allow them to just keep on applying the pressure. We're already seeing a massive experience lead so early in this game.
Poor old Malfurion. I think the pressure of the occasion just might be getting to him. He's spent more time on the bench and in the base rather than he has out running in the middle of the ground. So, unfortunate for him, he'll need to bring it back, and hopefully that he doesn't anchor his team too badly. But he is a massive, massive target, being the only healer on the side of the Onyx Esports lads. You take him out, you pretty much guarantee yourself a fight. And Ground Zero know that. They're executing their fights to perfection. Now the Entangling Roots manages to catch him out, but Scripps is there with the Wave of Light. He's striking out the Moonfires, his Bloodspiller, just to but a good hook from Actaman forces Superstition to swift strike away. It's unfortunate that a hook is wasted on Genji, but you just let him know that you're there.
Yeah, it's just warning shots here and there, just let him know that, hey, if you are ever without your maneuverability, you are going to have a world of hurt. As we have an attempted dive on the top side. Thrall taking a bit of damage, but he can't actually stand up to the amount of pushing pressure coming out from Papa and Chase, and this is going to be the fort going down really early in this game, and just ballooning this experience lead so early in this game so far.
He missed the Feral Spirit as well there, so he doesn't take in the stacking talent. He has actually gone for Mana Tide, so getting a little bit more resilience. Frostwolves is so good as a trait for Thrall. It enables him to heal, it enables him to regen mana now that he's taken that talent, so he'll be looking to counter-push Papa back. But Zagara, as a solid specialist, look at it going down. Actaman is taking a lot of damage. He's got 3 on his backside. Does he have the slam? He does, but the dash as well as the Hammer of Justice is there. And the wheels are just falling off the Onyx Esports wagon just a little bit, but they're not out of this game yet.
Yeah, it's not over by a long shot, but, well, they're going to need more than a grump shot to get back into this one. As we are getting into a very dangerous part of the game. 4 nukes coming up on the board, and as we get closer and closer to heroics on the side of ground zero, Onyx are going to have to be very careful with how they play out this next phase.
we saw last week when Onyx were behind, they tried to take team fights. They didn't even have pen. They were a talent tier down almost every single time. There were potential game was just not on. Stitches is going to go taken down again, trying to take the fight to the ground zero, lads. They just need to compose themselves. They need to get a soak on. Play the defensive game here, GL Phoenix. It will serve them well.
Yeah, they did manage to get one of the nukes in the mid lane due to the amount of presence on the side, but on the bottom side, they're trying to get a kill, even down 2 whole levels.
Bobcow taking a lot of damage from Grumpshot and the Fish. 2 nukes now being poured down into the bottom lane. Bang goes 1, bang goes 2. They've lost their entire front line and the well in the bot lane. So the Onyx Esports lads clawing their way back, but they are down. They don't have level 10 at this point. This is where they need to just soak.
Oh, AC the man again.
Getting caught out by Scripps and Superstition up the top lane. He's just way too deep at the moment. He's costing his team. He's trying to get the soak on. He's going to actually survive this one, but he has taken a few cheeky deaths. Now the nuke being dropped behind him. Deflect from Genji. He's going to walk back into the nuke. No, just in time, but the burrow comes in from Chase. Good dash from Superstition. The cocoon has actually landed here, and this is where Ground Zero are dangerous. They're already knocking on the doors of the base, chunking down the fort. Papa on Zagara, doing work as well as the rest of his team. The man is just food for them at the moment.
Oh, they're going to keep on going forward. They have the heroic advantage, and there's still an entire level before Onyx can get even close to it as the Dragon Blade comes in with the shield. And they're just going to be slicing through the whole of Onyx Esports.
The hook actually comes out from Axe as he comes back. Will this be a kill onto Scripps? Lunara Poison doing work. They get one back. Well done there, the Fish getting it done. This is where a few teams might have come undone. They've stayed a little bit too long, but now that they've lost one player, the Ground Zero lads, they get their retreat on and they get back to cleaning up this massive map. Chase is going to take the mid lane, get League's Locust to do the dirty work. In comes Bobcow. They're going to take the middle tower. All they need now is the bottom, and they've got no tier 1s left to Onyx Esports. They're starting to struggle a little bit, still yet to hit level 10.
Oh, ooh, Papa lucky that Hydra was there to cop that hook for the Queen. And manages to get out of there with her life. So very interesting rotation coming down from Papa, but managing to survive that just luckily. But now this is the part of the game where we are starting to see these Nidus Network really start to be a real nuisance to Onyx Esports. We're going to see Zagara just popping in here and there, just throwing a few banelings, just pushing these waves and then moving elsewhere on the map. As we do have that Nidus being dropped on the bottom side, as Papa is actually going to get caught out, coming out.
Great hook from Actman, catching them out there, but Tormented Souls from Mouthfield. The sustain is so strong. Twilight Dream to answer that. That is where they could do it. Gorge now. Actman picks someone up, needs to run back. He's running, chasing after Superstition. Are they going to get a team wipe? Oh, the Stitches has gone down, but there goes Uther. This is good for Onyx Esports. Lunara on the back line, left completely unchecked. Good impale from Chase to disengage, but that was almost disastrous from Ground Zero. Meanwhile, the top lane has got minions on the core.
Absolutely. They may lose a couple of %, but that's not too bad considering the position they've been in. It looks like they're trying to get as much out of this next phase as possible, but we do have Papa coming in out of this nice network. He's just going to be dropping banelings here and there to stall out this new captain, while on the bottom side, we're going to have another engage as Grumpshot has nothing in the tank.
Nah, didn't have the resets, didn't have the ability to use Blink to get away from Superstition Swift Strike to begin with, and then the Dragon Blade came out and it was just GG's from there. So Grumpshot looking at a spawn timer right now. 13 seconds left on that. They're not too chunky as yet. They're significant, but they're not deadly. Now Lunara does actually have the leaping strikes available, but look where Zagara is. Papa just throwing out these banelings, being an absolute nuisance. So it's GG's from the man on Zagara so far. The nukes now are going to drop into this bottom lane. There goes one, and they need to take.
We're getting the flanking Zagara plays.
Here we go from the back line, and the Onyx were not expecting that one. They've now had a schism planted between them. Yeah, very good Sunder coming out there from the man on thrall, but Actman is going to go down yet again. Tormented Souls from Nuffield, sucking up the sustain. Not only are there heroes there, there's a minion wave too. Bobcow in these team fights is a secondary tank. Failfish cops every single baneling you can think of, and Onyx just reeling from this relentless onslaught from Papa and the rest of Ground Zero.
Yeah, just getting caught out, and I'm not sure if the flanking Zagara is going to be the high percentage play most of the time, but it worked out in that situation. They are going to be able to get a couple of kills, and just really expand this experience lead that they have. They're at level 15. They're closing in on 16. They're going to be at, by the time that Onyx managed to get the 13, they are still going to have a talent tier advantage. And it's just getting so much more rough for Onyx Esports. It's hard to see how they get back into this game with just how much Papa on the Zagaras is dragging them left, right, and center with all these Nidus canals. And just it's really hard for them to deal with all this pressure.
He's definitely giving him the ring and rosy at the moment. You think I'm in the top lane? Oh, nah, just kidding. I'm down the bot lane, pushing your forts. And now we've got that boss lane, that boss being taken by the lads from Ground Zero. So Onyx, they need to get their soak on. They have hit level 13, but Ground Zero are about to hit level 16. And their soak is going to ensure that the boss is going to do work for them. Zagara still rolling around this map like it's nobody's business, like she owns the goddamn place. Is going to get their team to level 16. So a talent tier down again at Onyx Esports just when they think they claw it back up. This could spell disaster for them, GLP.
Yeah, they have to put up a very considerable defense here. They do not have any nukes to try and help out with this, but they have a rather significant amount of damage, and whether or not they want to try and just bypass this boss and just start applying pressure to the backline of the Ground Zero lads might be one of the plays to work with. Maybe try and get a good hook on as they do. The hook, a Baneling, as the fish takes a lot of damage and is deleted immediately.
Oh, poor Lunara did not know what hit her there. Genji dashing around with that Dragon Blade. They're going to get Malfurion as well, so bye-bye heals from Onyx Esports. Happy Chap is trying to do a little bit. He only has the Soul Feeder. Stitches goes down. I think this is GG Phoenix. They turn their attention to the core. Box split, 50% HP. That is going to be all she wrote.
Yeah, it was a very valiant effort coming out from Onyx Esports. They had the tools to try and get some of those early advantages. They had the right idea with some of those plays, but in the end, it is going to be Ground Zero who do get the wins, and they will get that 4th seed, that final seed going into next week's playoffs.
It was great sportsmanship from Grumpshot there, saying, GG's, well played, good luck next week, lads. They know how close they came to coming out with the win. They could taste the playoff rounds, GLP. Unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be, but they can hold their heads high with a stellar performance this week. This is the highest they've ever achieved, but Ground Zero were just too strong on the day. And Papa, with that Zagara, put on an absolute masterclass. If you want to learn how to play Zagara, if your team rages at you for picking it in HL, just turn their attention to this video and say, hang on a minute, have a look at this.
Absolutely. It's not the hero that has the most flashy of plays. It's not something like a Genji or a Li Ming where you're dipping and dodging in and out of these team fights and making these highlight plays, but essentially the Zagara did what the Zagara is needed to do. Just keep on applying pressure on those lanes. Just drag your opponents around the map and force them to respond to the pressure. And eventually they just cracked.
I'm going to have to give my MVP vote to Papa on the Zagara as
absolutely.
well.
I'm in agreement there. So much work done from that. And we saw it like even from level 1, getting that early tower and then just forcing the rotations up there just to try and deal with that hero. It just dictated a lot of that early game.
As soon as I saw Volatile Acid locked in, I'm like, you know what? Here we go. Papa is not going to team fight at all, just going to split push the lanes. Nidus Network was also a gimme. So congratulations to Papa on the Zagara for picking up the MVP. Congratulations to Ground Zero. They'll get another crack at the big boys in the playoff rounds next Tuesday night. And congratulations to everybody who played tonight. FTD did an outstanding job, and so did the Onyx lads who were just on stream. Everybody else, thank you so much for joining us and playing. But for now, to take us out for the night, it's back to Crisis.
Hey, thanks for that, Kit Fox and GL Phoenix, taking us through the last match. Now, we have one more thing that we need to do, and for this special occasion, because it's our first tiebreaker, what we've decided to do is we are raffling one of those loot chest codes that we've got. So you'll get, I think it's 12 loot chests with the one code that we've had as the raffle running. Now, not a lot of people have actually entered it, so somebody's going to win. There's some good chances here, and I'm going to draw it now. And let's head on over to the little robot man. And where is he?
A drum roll.
Where is he? Giveaways. There you go. And I'm going to close it. Oh, there's no raffle in progress. Oh, my goodness.
Oh!
So let me just open it very quickly.
Debated in chat, ladies and gentlemen. Can we get your debateds in the chat? Oh, God.
There we go. There we go. It's open now. So my apologies. We'll keep it open for a few minutes. Let people get that get their entrances in. Thank you, Evexium, who's just posted in Twitch chat that you've got to get it entered in. I forgot to actually open the raffle, so I set it up and I told people you can enter and all of that sort of thing, and then forgot to press the button. So while we give people a chance to catch up with the stream and realize that they've got to re-enter, GS Hots GS Hots to enter. We'll get that standings page onto screen for you so that you can see exactly what the situation is with, of course, the provisor that the 4th place has been taken by Ground Zero and not in Onyx Esports. So top of the table for tonight is Mad Because Bad, followed by FTD, then Milkshake, and the final spot, due to the tiebreaker win, goes to Ground Zero. And what a fantastic match it was as well. Now, I think I've given everybody enough of a chance to enter. Oh, we're almost at 100 viewers. So that'll be pretty cool if we can actually hit the 100 viewers as that comes through. There you go. GS Hots is coming through. From a couple of players. Now we're going to do the draw. So let me get my ugly mug back onto screen for while I press the button so that you can see me doing it live. Here we go. Blood Spiller's the last entrant that gets into it. And the winner is Kibba Baxter. And isn't that Lahal?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rahal. Congratulations, mate. Well done. You pick up that loot chest code that we gave away to celebrate our first tiebreaker of the evening. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you for sticking with us. What a fantastic evening of Heroes of the Storm brought to you by GameStar here from the ANZ region. It's been great to have you in. Now, when we go off air, I'm going to be hosting Fat94 because I know that he's on screen. He's one of the players from Nomia, our top team here in the region at the moment. So do give him a couple of shouts. Hit a sub. I think he's got a sub button. So subscribe for him as well. Let's get him a couple of subs as well. Nice little present from the ANZ Heroes of the Storm community. This has been a GameStar production. Thanks for joining us from Crisis, Kitfox, and GL Phoenix. Have a fantastic evening. We'll see you next week for the playoffs on Tuesday night.